Shore's McClarty Ford.
Today it's been a very nice afternoon. Today we'll continue to see those temperatures rising up into the lower to middle 80s. We'll see a daytime high of 84 degrees. Continue to see lots of sunshine and very awesome afternoon. We'll see those winds out in the south at 5 to 10 miles an hour. And for tonight, we'll see temperatures falling back down to the lower 60s. Clear, very mild, a very lovely evening for this Friday before we see another nice afternoon as we go into your Saturday. As a quick look at your Tom Shore's McClarty Ford forecast first, and the news starts
now. From your community, local news that matters. This is NBC6 News Local Midday Update.
Good afternoon. Thank you for choosing us as your local news source, and welcome to NBC6 News Local Midday Update. I'm Fernanda Hernandez. We begin today with some good news for your Friday. More than 1 million people around the world have recovered from the coronavirus. Now, according to data collected by Johns Hopkins University, over 3 million people have been infected. However, this is still a step in the right direction for our return to normalcy. And here at home, the United States accounts for more than 153,000 of those recoveries. Germany and Spain have also seen more than 100 recoveries. And in China, where the disease originated, that have seen more than 78,000. China now has only 474 cases of the virus. And taking a look now at the most updated numbers here in Louisiana. As of noon today, there are over 28,700 cases statewide. The death toll stands at 1,927. There have been over 17,000 recoveries in the state. And the number of cases in Caddo Parish are now at 1,579. And the Caddo Parish coroner says the number of people who have died from COVID-19 has risen to 120. The first Caddo Parish coronavirus death was on March 24th. Our Arklatex homepage has a closer look at the cases specific to the Arklatex in our area. You could head there to see the most updated number. And we had the chance to hear from Congressman Mike Johnson yesterday during his interview with NBC6's Dan and Jackie Jovic. Congressman Johnson says a reopening of society must happen first, allowing people to responsibly go to public places and churches, and then business will follow.
We have to give these businesses a chance to survive, and if we keep them closed down for an extended period of time, we eliminate their ability to do that. Ultimately, that drives more people into unemployment and ultimately poverty. And in my view, that's one of the greatest threats to public health is a broader category of poverty for more people, and it's something we have to avoid.
And you can see much more of Dan and Jackie's interview with Congressman Johnson next Thursday, May 7th at 7 p.m. in our town hall on Louisiana's economy. Remember, that will start at 7 o'clock. And faith matters. And yesterday, Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry called for the governor to amend his emergency proclamation so churches can begin the process of reopening Louisiana. Governor John Bel Edwards says with modifications, he thinks church gatherings could return.
We do believe that church services can be conducted safely outdoors, just as individuals can safely eat on premises of a restaurant outdoors. Now, for those churches who want to put up a tent in order to create the space, that's fine. But if you put the flaps down, the walls of a tent, it really becomes an interior space without the outside airflow, and that would be a problem. So that's not going to be allowed.
And Governor Edwards says that churches that hold the outside services will have to maintain social distancing guidelines. He will hold another briefing today that you can watch on our website. And money matters, and with the governor easing restrictions on the stay-at-home order, some local clothing stores are looking to cash in. Starting today in Louisiana, retailers can offer curbside shopping. Now, the Louisiana Boardwalk outlets will not be offering this service, and we have not heard back from management at Mall St. Vincent or Pierre Bossier Mall, but they do have COVID-19 updates up on their websites. And also starting today, non-essential retail businesses can open with all employees wearing masks, and no more than 10 people will be allowed inside. But Louisiana workers who interact with the public must wear these face masks, and Governor Edwards issued that order on Monday when he announced the extension of his stay-at-home order. And yesterday, U.S. Representative Mike Johnson announced that the downtown airport has been awarded a $150,000 grant from the Transportation Department to rehabilitate its runway. Representative Johnson says he thinks the resources and improvements are critically important to the Shreveport downtown airport as it fulfills its role in reviving our region's economy. No word yet on when those renovations will begin. And over in Texarkana, the public housing authorities and Section 8 voucher programs received more than $920,000 to help with coronavirus-related improvements and maintenance to local public housing programs. The funding comes through the Department of Housing and Urban Development as part of the CARES Act, and Senator Cornyn says the outbreak hit Texas hard, and the grants will ensure the operations and properties remain safe. And over in Texas, here's a look at the new coronavirus numbers there. There are now more than 27,000 cases statewide, 816 deaths so far, and the Texas Health and Human Services Department says more than 351,000 people have been tested for the virus. And businesses in Texas are preparing for their first phase of Governor Abbott's plan to reopen the state. The shelter-in-place order was lifted at midnight in both Bowie and Cass counties. Retail stores, restaurants, as well as movie theaters and malls are permitted to open today at 25% capacity. Business owners say it feels like the grand opening all over again. And the Marshall Public Library will open for curbside services starting today. They'll be open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. And Library Director Anna Lane says, quote, "We have missed seeing our library friends, but the library closure was to safeguard our community. Curbside services at this time will allow patrons to continue with their recreational, educational, and information reading needs." And the Wi-Fi is still available in the library parking lot. Also in Marshall, Texas, the Chamber of Commerce says some other businesses also plan to reopen today. But the executive director says it's important for businesses to reopen slowly so there won't be a resurgence in coronavirus cases.
How do we balance bolstering our economy and coming back with responsible health practices? And so many have opted to just continue with curbside and carry out and not quite open back up yet, even with that 25% occupancy option.
And she says the public has offered overwhelming support for local businesses. Meanwhile, one of the largest major employers in Kilgore is shutting down operations. According to a company spokesperson, Halliburton is closing its Kilgore facility and moving to Bossier City. According to the Kilgore Economic Development Corporation, Halliburton Services employs around 700 people total. Workers in Texas and Oklahoma will be affected. And we're headed over to Arkansas now, where the most updated numbers have been released. There are now more than 3,200 cases of coronavirus and 61 reported deaths. And Governor Hutchinson will be giving a COVID-19 update at 1:30 p.m. this afternoon. Of course, you can watch that briefing live on our website, arklatekshomepage.com. And meanwhile, gyms and fitness centers may resume operations on May 4th, of course, under certain guidelines. Governor Asa Hutchinson announced at his daily press briefing yesterday that gyms and fitness centers must implement precautions such as the use of face masks, except of course when exercising, daily temperature checks for employees and patrons, as well as social distancing of at least 12 feet while exercising.
And I did want to announce today that on May 4th, we will lift restrictions on gyms, fitness centers, and indoor athletic facilities so that they can resume operation, and they will have some limits and some social distancing, physical distancing requirements within of those facilities.
And Hutchinson says people who have recently traveled from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, New Orleans, or overseas will not be able to enter those businesses. And state leaders are working on ways to protect businesses from getting sued if someone contracts COVID-19 after visiting. Opponents say it should be up to the court system to determine what happens, not Congress. Those pushing for liability waivers say they should only be given to business owners who follow those rules.
They're being asked to open their businesses at a 25% capacity. That's difficult, but they're doing it. They're going to do it. And when they do that, they shouldn't have to have the fear and the danger in the loom of these lawsuits because they don't do something perfectly.
I think government's focus right now needs to be increasing testing and ensuring businesses that are open are doing so in a safe manner to where we're minimizing exposure to the virus.
And Congress represents what's likely the fastest way to implement a liability waiver. States lawmakers don't meet again until January unless the governor calls a special session. And happening now, a new time has been set for today's mobile COVID-19 testing site in Caddo Parish. Free screenings in Gillum will now take place today between the hours of 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. at the David Raines Community Health Center. You must register by calling that phone number on your screen, and remember to bring your ID as well as stay inside your vehicle when you arrive. And Dillis Quesadillas is partnering with a LifeShare for a blood drive today. We'll go until 5 p.m. and the LifeShare bus will set up in the parking lot of Dillis in Town Oak Square Shopping Center. And everyone that donates will get free chips and queso. And the Keep Calm Through COVID hotline is still providing a 24/7 counseling service for those who may be feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or need help coping with COVID-19 related stress. This service is available to you at no charge. You're seeing that phone number on your screen. And stay with us. We have a full check of your forecast after the break. Plus, we tell you there's a chance the U.S. will have a COVID-19 vaccine by the beginning of 2021. And later, drive-in movies are making a comeback in Bossier. We have those details later in the show.
Now for your Weather Authority forecast with Jesse Kelly, certified the most accurate forecast in the Arklatex.
Welcome back. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Friday today. It's going to continue to be a very fantastic Friday with temperatures warming right back up into the lower to middle 80s. We'll see a daytime high of 84 degrees here in Shreveport, 85 degrees in Natchitoches, 83 degrees in Texarkana. You'll also see a daytime high of 84 degrees into Mount Pleasant. If you want to go out and about to get that car wash for the next couple of days, you can see All green lights, all courtesy to high pressure at the surface and also into the upper atmosphere, which will lead to some very warm temperatures for the next couple of days and also some much needed sunshine, as we have seen several rounds of showers and thunderstorms the last couple of weeks in the month of April. But now that we are in May, we're going to see plenty of sunshine between now and to the first part of next week. So radar is showing a whole lot of nothing. We have lots of clouds and also this ridge of high pressure across West Texas. This ridge of high pressure will lead to some very warm temperatures out towards the west. We could see triple digits. Luckily for us, though, we're not going to see in triple digits, at least not yet. The ridge of high pressure is also keeping most of the rain well off towards the north, although we could see some rain return as we go into next week. So our on-tour forecast shows a very lovely rest of your Friday with temperatures again rising right back up into the middle 80s. Tonight we'll see temperatures falling back down to the 50s and 60s with a light south wind. Tomorrow afternoon, more of the same, more sunshine. Temperatures back up into the middle to even the upper 80s with winds out of the south at 6 to 12 miles an hour. And then as we go into your Sunday, we'll start the morning with humid conditions with temperatures into the middle to upper 60s before we see more sunshine with temperatures getting right back up to near 90 degrees for Sunday. Also for your Monday and Tuesday, where we do introduce some rainy chances as we go into your Tuesday night to the first part of your Wednesday. Rain will wrap up for the first part of your Wednesday morning. Sunday stage up for sunshine as we go into your Thursday with temperatures by the end of the 80s. Also for the next 7 days, see those nighttime lows into the 60s and 70s.
Thank you, Jesse. And health matters, and as more states take steps toward reopening during the COVID-19 outbreak, some Americans applaud these moves, while others are concerned about the virus spreading further. John Lawrence has more.
There's a chance the U.S. will have a COVID-19 vaccine by January.
That's an assumption that it's going to be safe, that it's going to be effective, and that we're going to be able to do it quickly. I think each of those are not only feasible, but maybe likely.
While top infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci is optimistic, he admits that target date isn't set in stone.
I've been involved in vaccine work for decades. Not every vaccine that we went after worked.
Vaccine development is usually measured in years, not months.
You know, it's like running the quarter mile. You want to run faster, but you have to run the whole quarter mile. You certainly don't want to put an unsafe or an ineffective vaccine out to the populace.
The research continues as more than half of the United States start to partially reopen.
Discretion is given to the governors. They know their states. The mayors know their cities. So you want to give them a little wiggle room. But my recommendation is, don't wiggle too much.
While the reopening process will likely help the struggling U.S. economy start to rebound from the pandemic, some say doing so too soon may lead to problems.
Because people are going to go back to more association in some places in the country, it's very likely that there'll be future peaks as well.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Stay with us. We have your consumer news after the break, and we're telling you how you may be able to get your groceries right to your door in under 2 hours. We'll have those details after the break. Whoa. Welcome back in your consumer news. Apple is working to make it easier to unlock your iPhone if you're wearing a mask. They released a software update, but only in beta, that allows you to skip the Face ID display by swiping up to enter your passcode. Now, currently there's a slight delay between your phone realizing that it can't see your face and jumping to that passcode screen. Also in your consumer news, Walmart is rolling out a 2-hour express delivery service. Customers can now pick up an assortment of over 160,000 items spanning from groceries to essentials to toys and electronics. Now, it will cost you an extra $10 on top of that regular delivery fee, but your items can be right at your door in 2 hours or less. And if you go to Whole Foods Market, make sure you have a mask. But if you don't have one handy, don't worry. The grocery giant has you covered. Within the next few days, Whole Foods will offer free disposable masks to customers nationwide. This is another step the company is taking since the COVID-19 pandemic. They've also enhanced cleaning at all of their locations and open an hour early for elderly customers. There are more than 1 million confirmed cases of the coronavirus in the U.S. and at least 63,000 deaths. That's according to Johns Hopkins University. Stay with us. We have your feel-good stories of the day next. But first, we take a look outside with our Louisiana Tower Cam. Jesse has a final check of your forecast coming up next.
This is NBC6 News Local Midday Update.
Welcome back. Are you old enough to remember drive-in movies? Well, one local business owner is looking to bring back the good old days. Silver Star owner David Alvis is prepping more than 12 acres of land to launch a drive-in movie theater that you can enjoy. He has yet to announce when the drive-in will be open, but we do know it will be right next to the Silver Star restaurant in Bossier City. And hip-hop fans rejoice. After teasing a new project for several months, Drake is back with a brand new mixtape titled Dark Lanes Demo Tapes. This marks his first full-length release since 2018's Scorpion, and the mixtape includes 14 songs and it was released at midnight on SoundCloud. And as for Drake's new album, well, it will be out this summer, so do not fret. And we couldn't leave you today without your feel-good story of the day. A private chef in central New York State is putting his skills to work to bless others. Justin Backman has more.
Well, it's because I am groovy, and this is a groovy thing.
Ryan Zarbatani can't help but make everyone smile.
My friend Sarah, her son's birthday was coming up, and she made a post on Facebook, who makes the best chicken parmesan? And of course, she was implying what restaurant makes the best chicken parmesan.
Ryan commented on that post saying he, in fact, makes the best chicken parm. Anyone who's had Chef Z's cooking knows that's true, and the comments proved it.
That opened up kind of a can of worms where we ended up making chicken parmesan for like 25 people maybe, and we had a great time doing it. We did it here in the house. My family got involved, helping pound out the chicken and everything. It was a good time.
It was such a good time, they did it again for the next 4 weeks, feeding more and more people along the way. That brings us to this week, when Ryan and his family are making chicken and steak fajitas for more than 75 people.
Homemade guacamole, homemade salsa, all that, the tortillas and everything else.
Very good.
Oh, did I mention Chef Rye isn't charging a cent?
Just a little thing I can do to make everyone's life, at least one day, a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting, and a little different from the everyday humdrum that we've been dealing with.
People pay what they can. Some pay more, and some can't pay at all. None of it bothers Chef. The more mouths he can feed, the better.
We have people getting 10 orders, 8 orders, 13 orders, so that way they can take it and feed their 4 or 5 people at home, and then they can go to their neighbors, and they can go to their friends that maybe need some help or they think might be blessed by it, and they just it keeps going and spreading all over the place. So.
Mostly family. Actually, I have a friend who her daughter's trying to sell a goal for Girl Scout cookies, and they can't go out right now, and I've been helping her, so I'm going to give them some meals so she doesn't have to worry about dinner tonight.
People helping people. If you ask Chef Ryan, he'll tell you it all comes back to food.
Food brings people together. It brings their heart together. It brings their mind together.
Here's a look at your next 7 days. Again, this weekend's looking simply fantastic. We're going to see a daytime high of 84 degrees for Friday, 86 degrees for Saturday, upper 80s for Sunday and Monday. Would not be surprised if some portions of the Arctic will see daytime highs into the lower 90s. Now, you will see some slight rain chances Tuesday night to the first part of Wednesday. We do drop for Thursday and lower humidity by next Thursday with nighttime lows into the 60s and 70s.
Thank you, Jesse. And that's all for your local midday update. Thank you for tuning in with us. Enjoy this beautiful weather. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.